So, what do I have to share with you today as an author who's been doing this probably for the last 7 or 8 years? The most important thing I can probably tell you is to make certain that you just don't give up. This business can be really tough on your ego. it's, it's really difficult for anyone to really break that barrier to get to the other side of success. And that is doubly so for someone who is a diverse author writing diverse romance. It can seem almost impossible at times, and it can be so discouraging. But at your worst, your breakthrough is probably just on the other side. So if you keep pushing and keep trying, eventually you'll break through that glass ceiling, you'll break through that barrier, that gatekeeping that's been going on to get to what you want. Because the truth of the matter is, if you want it bad enough, no one can stop you from getting it, only you. So keep pushing, keep trying. And while you're pushing and trying, work on your craft, get yourself together so that when the opportunity does come, you'll be ready and prepared to take that next step and to elevate your career to where you want it to be. So, again, the most important quality you can have, other than being a good writer, is perseverance. That's it, and that's all.
Can you tell us a little bit about the start of your journey and how you got to this point? Especially because you talk about perseverance and not giving up.
Well, I honestly started with a self-published book, and I had no idea how to self-publish. So don't be like LaQuette, be better than LaQuette. If you're going to self-publish, at least know what you're doing so that you might have some actual success with it. That did not happen for me. um, I was tired of, I'd spent a good many years in graduate school in a writing program, writing what other people told me I had to write, which was usually pretty academic in nature. And I didn't really have anything, there was nothing juicy that made me want to write. And so when I finished my graduate degree, I took about maybe 4 months and just wrote whatever I wanted, whatever was in my heart's, content, that made my heart content at that time. And I finished this book. My husband thought it was pretty good, and he was like, "You should, you should finish this." And I think I probably got about halfway through it in that time, and I wasn't really. I don't know that I believed him that it was really good. Also, at the time, we were creating a human, so I didn't really have the time to really like put all my energy into it because creating a human is pretty tiring. And so I kind of let it drop by the wayside. And then a couple of years after our son was born, he made a statement to me about, whatever happened to you writing and putting your work out there. And I'm like, oh, we got a kid, work, no one has time for that. And he's like, oh, so what you mean to say is that you're not ready. You don't feel like your stuff is quality and you can get it out there and get people's attention. And one of the best ways to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it. And he knows that. So he played reverse psychology really well. And so I finished the book and I put it up on Amazon. And I still stand by that it was a really good book. It was titled My Beginning. But the problem was I didn't know anything about industry standards. I didn't know anything about formatting. I didn't know anything about marketing, all the things, cover art, anything that goes into creating a quality product. I had no clue about. But the what that book did do, even though it didn't sell a lot, what it did do was it put me in spaces with other authors who were much further in their careers than I was. And it gave me the opportunity to learn from them, learn the things I didn't know, learn how to bring attention to my work. And I was friendly with a woman named an author by the name of Piper Kay, who has since passed away. And she told me, listen, my publisher, which was a small press called Hot Ink Press, is looking for diverse stories. You should submit something. And I submitted a story, which would probably become one of my most popular stories, Heart of the Matter. It's the first book in my Queens of Kings series. And it did really well, which was really surprising to me and really like a gift for me and really just made me want to keep going. And from that platform of that small press, it helped me build until I was in a contest where I finaled, and I went to the conference to attend the ceremony, the award ceremony, and LaToya Smith, who was a celebrity editor at that point, who was known, very much known in the industry, walks up to my table and she says, "I was expecting you to come see me." And I'm like, I know damn well I don't have any appointments with this woman today. Why would she be expecting me? So I'm like, how? Like, why? And she says, because I'm here and I'm looking to acquire specifically diverse romance. And as a finalist, as one of the only diverse finalists, I was really hoping that you would come see me. And at the time, I really was kind of iffy about traditional publishing. I didn't really know whether it was something I really wanted to do. And so I was like, I don't know. And we talked a little bit, and I finally agreed that I was going to send her what I was working on. And I think maybe 8 weeks later, when I was finally finished, I go to send it to her, and Sam Hain announces that they're closing. And I'm like, no! That's close right there. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me just send this story out to all the other publishers I can find that are accepting unagented pieces. And I sent it out to everyone because there were many more electronic presses at that point, small presses at that point. And the now defunct Lucid, they called me back and said, "Hey, we want this story." And so at this time, LaToya had switched from editing to agenting. She was just starting out as an agent. So I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, I had an offer." And I would really very much like you to represent me because I know nothing about this business and I need your help. And she took pity on me.
No, it was not pity. Okay, it was a damn good book. All right.
And she said, "Okay, come, I'll represent you." And that was probably about 5 years ago now. And she literally has guided my career from using that first book with Loose Ed to build and to acquire larger, more lucrative deals with more prominent publishers. Currently, I am published with Harlequin Desire, and I soon have a book coming out with St. Martin's Press. So all that work, of building, it was, each rung on a ladder, and each level was building on top of the other one until it got me to the space that I really wanted to be in, which was as a traditionally published author. No shade on self-publishing, but it wasn't for me. Like, my life is not set up to successfully self-publish. Self-publishing is extremely difficult and takes a lot of work. It also takes a lot of capital. And as someone with small children who will one day have to go to college, it was either invest that money in my books or start college funds for my kids. So I said, well, let's see if there's another way I can do this. And traditionally publishing was that path for me. So it worked for me. So if traditional publishing is your thing, small baby steps, you can get to where you want to be.
And I will be sure to include all the places that you can find LaQuette, as well as all the links to her fabulous books below. Please let us know how you like this video. Please share it. Please support, subscribe, all of the above. I appreciate your time and attention as always, and I'll see you next time.